Oh god.
Oh shit! Real quick before news, you fucking corporate stooge, you sold me on this Hitman junk. I'm hooked. I need more.
It's really good.
Actually, I got more because it's a fucking endless arcade game of fun, and I'm sticking by my Tony Hawk comparison. This feels like a fucking the intros. It's like it reminds me of like Thug.
Yeah.
Thug, but it's like go kill this guy. Thug, but with like Grand Theft Auto Splinter Cell-y controls.
Honestly, man, it's like
great.
It's actually like super hard to define like exactly what that game is because it's
its own fucking beast, and that's why it's so sick. It's just like I don't know. It's fucking in my top 5 of this year, and I've since I downloaded it during the last podcast. I got 7 hours on it, which is like oh, that's not counting when it was it didn't log my stuff, so I'm probably like 10 hours.
I
fucked the Gary Busey thing, by the way.
Yes, as did I. I managed to kill Gary Busey, and then his goons got me just. I took a wrong turn. If I'd taken the right turn, I would have made it. Right. I mean, it's like this game is honestly, man. It's like the reason it's so hard to pin down is because the way it approaches things like stealth, like it is almost primarily a stealth game, but it's like
definitely
a weirdly bastardized form of stealth where you're not like the rules of this world, like they're not real world rules. They're like
definitely not.
It's about like how you read the kind of clockwork systems that are on show.
I mean,
and
there's
how you
rat
try
poison
to
and expired tomato sauce everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
just like I don't know. I don't know. It's fantastic.
It's really, really great. But I mean,
I mean, maybe I understand the hate.
I at this stage, it's like people that are still complaining about the episodic thing. I'm just like, man, I don't think like if you bought it now, you would be getting more content than most like full games give you, and there's still a whole lot more to come. Like I think
I came in at the perfect time. Like,
yeah, man. Actually, yeah, you came in about like halfway through it all, and like where there's like a good chunk of content available to you, but there's still like so much more to actually come. Like I was like I requested a press code for that game, like thinking I'm gonna check this out and see like, you know, how badly they fucked this up, and it ended up being, like I say, like one of my top games of this year. It's so good, man. It's
like what is it? It's like it's like an older. It feels like an older game, like in the sense that you're not doing shit just to get like achievements and stuff. It's just for like you go off and do this little side shit, and there's all these weird little variables. It's just for like your own amusement. It's like
exactly.
It's like the olden days, you know, like you just fuck around in Grand Theft Auto and you just go like do some weird thing that had no consequence and didn't push the story forward or anything, or even it didn't even do any. It was just your own personal shitty fun.
Well, I mean, it's
and you can do that. It's like
it's weird because it's like you know, like you're kind of saying there are like not like side quests, but there are like a lot of different ways afforded to you to kind of like take out the enemy, but it's like it's not like a kind of Ubisoft open world where you're checking things off of a list, you know. Like it's like you are like when I kind of found out when I first played the Paris level, when I found out the potential scope of all these different ways, the different opportunities fundamentally change the way you approach the game. It's like you know,
and you want to start over and like replan everything once you find out about these certain fucking things, or like you want to like be like, oh shit, like the firework controls, or like
exactly.
It's I have not done this in a game in years where like I was outside of the game brainstorming shit on like a little notepad of like the order I was going to tackle that France.
And the thing is, like the great thing about that game is that it gives you, like, for those that haven't played it, there are opportunities that like are essentially kind of somewhat guided like approaches to each target. Like, you know, like this, you know, there's the Paris one has like, there's a model that you can walk the catwalk with and then go and have a private meeting with the target or whatever and all that kind of stuff. But like when like part of what makes Hitman so great is that those can break, and then it's left to the player to kind of like,
they break a lot.
To like, but it's like it's weirdly like not a flaw. It kind of fits into the whole kind of like most players playing this game like are going to kind of bungle things up at some point, and the beauty is in how the player then responds to that and kind of improvises a kind of makeshift solution around that. Like that can kind of create sometimes like even more funny or like amusing kind of scenarios than the opportunities afford you, you know. And it feels very much like the game was designed around like that kind of encouraging player improvisation. Like I can't think of a game that actually encourages the player to like improvise on the spot and have the kind of messiness that improvisation like entails, you know. Like I made a video on this. It's like, you know, improvisation like in other forms of media like involves like not being afraid to play things quote unquote wrong, and like, you know, and things do go wrong in Hitman. They go wrong all the time, and they go wrong in like the scripting of AI and stuff like that. And like for the developers to kind of allow that shit to just creep in enough that like the player still feels like they are responding to a challenge that the game is presenting them, like, but not presenting themselves enough that the game just feels broken. It's like, it's a real kind of balancing act that I think the developers handled with a great deal of panache, and I think like it's kind of fascinating. I really like can't stop fucking gushing about that game, and it's so good.
I'm gonna play it when we're done here. Like it's like, yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
it's just, I haven't even played the third place yet.
The Marrakesh.
Yeah, because when I first played, their servers were offline. It didn't log any of my fucking challenges I completed.
That is like, yeah, I mean,
that was bullshit. That was a terrible intro, but I loved it so much that I had no fucking problem going back and doing everything all over.
It's interesting that is like that stuff has gotten better, because at launch it was like if you disconnected from the internet, then you would just be kicked straight back to the main menu. Like there was no chance to like reconnect. So
that's happening a lot in games.
Yeah, and you know, but the thing is, it's weird that the game is that good, and that it kind of like I didn't feel too. It didn't get in the way of that, really. Like I mean, and like that was at launch. Like they have introduced options like, if you disconnect, then it automatically gives you the option to reconnect, and also the servers are, you know, touch wood, far more stable than they were at launch, you know. So it's definitely not as much of a problem now as it was then. But even back then, I was kind of like, I was just like, okay, that's annoying. I just want to get back in and play this, you know. So yeah, it's like it's a really, really great game. I can't say enough good things about it.
It's a gorgeous looking game. It plays well.
Runs like shit for me. But
runs like shit for you on a psychedelic level, and it fucks up in all the right places that somehow squeezes more enjoyment out of it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
it makes every mission like something like Snatch or Lock, Stock. It's like the heist that's fucking up, and it's like you're rolling with that fuck up, and it just becomes this hilarious. My missions always devolve into like these fucking hilarious, like shitty comedies almost, of like, you know, this guy is the worst assassin almost sometimes.
Yeah.
I'll get like fed up with my old plan and just be like, I'm just gonna run up and just shoot her and run away, or like, you know, and just like, and sometimes you get the fuck out of there and you're like, how did I survive? And then it's just like that's the best feeling sometimes when you
totally.
You fuck everything and then you get out.
Exactly. Like you feel like you've. Because it's not a case of like you feel like, oh, I'm the master assassin. You feel like you've outsmarted the game's systems in a way, and that's kind of a weird feeling. Like it's a weird feeling of accomplishment, like where you feel like you've beaten the gate. Like you feel like you've beaten the kind of structure of the game. But like I say, the developers seem like they've taken that in mind and they've kind of encouraged that in a way. So